This is a family. This ain't a football club.
Hello, welcome to episode 7 or 8, season 2 of the West Ham rebuild. If you haven't checked out season 1, I'm going to give away a lot of spoilers in this, so go and check that out first. Just before we get into the transfers and everything and the 2 games today, we have our pre-season games. Firstly, at home against Birmingham, 3-2 defeat. Ruben Neves, our new signing, getting 2 goals. Somerville, Harvey Barnes and Daniel Marlin on the score sheet as it beat Schalke, 5-2. 4-0 win over Hanover. Mateus Fernandes, Somerville, Marlin and Durami getting the goals. Ruben Neves on the score sheet again as a 3-2 win over Hertha Berlin with Harvey Barnes and Charlie Cresswell on the score sheet as well. Daniel Marlin, the only goal scorer as we beat Nuremberg 1-0. 4-2 win over Bristol City where Ruben Neves was on the score sheet again with a penalty. Durami had 2 and then Somerville got 1. 3-1 defeat to Bournemouth with Tomo Conway getting a goal. Daniel Marlin getting a 1-0 win over Austria Vienna and then a 4-1 win against Yeovil. Ruben Neves getting 2, an own goal from Yeovil and then a Daniel Marlin goal as well. Let's go into that transfer history. Let's show you what I've done. We'll go firstly on the outs. Firstly, Andy Irving was sold to Sunderland for 2.1 million. We said a little bit about that last season. Got him off the wage budget and off to Sunderland for a 600k profit. James Ward-Prowse, our captain for last season, 17.5 million over to Wolves. Modo Doumbia, who was our striker that we bought last season, just didn't play and wasn't that happy. Lucas Paqueta went to Al Hilal for 40 million. Pretty decent deal on this one. A youngster on loan. Edson Alvarez, who was on loan last season, went for 40 million as well. Daniel Riggs, the youngster, went to Cambridge for 74k. Yves Bissouma went to Aston Villa on loan just to get him off the wage bill. And Wan-Bissaka went to Al Ittihad for 33.5 million. Luis Guilherme went on to Stoke just to get him some game time. Thomas Souček went over to Spartak Moscow for 3.9 million. Magassa's gone to get some more experience at Sheffield United on loan. Babakay Soumaré, who was signed in January, just didn't get on, and then all the signings that we bought in just thought we'd get rid of him for 8.75 million. Callum Marshall, one of the youngsters, has gone on loan to Charlton. Alphonse Areola went to be a backup at Man City for 725k, and then 2 loans as well. Mamadou Kante is off at Grimsby and has already played a game, and then Maxwell Cornet over to Burnley. Tried to sell him, but couldn't really do it. Anyway, onto the transfers in. Firstly, Ruben Neves from Al Hilal, got him on a free, and then Adama Traore on a free as well. Antonio Gallo from Lecce, I believe it was. Decent left back, replacing some decent players. Another free. Elliot Anderson, as Nottingham Forest got relegated on a £35 million deal, 23 years old. Going to start in my midfield as a box-to-box playmaker. Decent deal and decent price as well. Morgan Gibbs-White, also from Nottingham Forest, also for 35 million. Is a pretty good player as well. Going to get some goals and create some more chances, hopefully. Well, that's the idea anyway. Aaron Ramsdale from Southampton as a backup keeper, or maybe might start some games, depends on Madson's form, but is out for between 6 weeks and 2 months with a muscle injury, so that isn't ideal. After that, Chris Rigg from Sunderland, a little bit expensive on this one, 25 million, but at 19 years old, already around the first team squad, should be a player for the future, and is on the bench, and is actually vice-captain. After that, another free transfer, Memphis Depay is retiring at the end of the season, but a backup striker. He's on a little bit of a hefty wage at 115k a week, but with our goal scoring problems we had last season, having players on the bench like Memphis Depay, or he can slot in left, right, or in the middle as well. I mean, if really needed, he could spot in midfield, but I'm not sure we're actually going to do that. After Memphis, we brought back Wouter Goose wasn't that good last season, but a decent squad player championship, a squad player for 16.5 million. Gillian Sadia was a right back that we bought as we sold Wan-Bissaka, 24-year-old right back from France. Bought him in from PSG for 25 million. Couple of strikers now, 2 from Arsenal, 1 from Aston Villa. Leandro Trossard, a little bit expensive at 30 million, but that's kind of just what you need for goals. Can start on the left wing, behind the striker, and on the right hand side, as well as up front. If our strikers aren't performing, he definitely could play up front. A little bit expensive, but that's what you have to pay for goals. Then a 30-year-old Ollie Watkins. I think we just need goals at this point. If we're going to stay in the Premier League, we definitely need goals. It's a little bit expensive for someone who is 30 years old, but 150k a week isn't too bad. So we bring in Ollie Watkins. And then Reece Nelson, 11.25 million. Another squad player for around the wings. We're just lacking on the right hand side, so he can have a decent place if Daniel Marlin's not performing on the right hand side. And then that is all for so far. If we have any more transfers, we'll go through them. And then we have 2 games in today's episode, Manchester United and Arsenal. 2 of the more difficult ones in the game, but you gotta play them sometime. And playing first couple of games of the season, we are trying to do that. Anyway, we'll still have, I'll go through the squad a little bit. All these players. Harvey Barnes is still around. Cole Walker-Peters is injured at the moment as well. There's some players on the bench. I'll show you the starting lineup in a minute. We are looking to loan out George Earthy, sell Somerville. Tommy Conway is injured for 2 to 3 months, and then Fulkrug, who is wanted by someone. I can't quite click on it because he is unregistered, but we're trying to sell him as well. We haven't quite done that yet. Anyway, let's go into this matchday squad, and we'll show you the starting lineup for today as they're in possession of formation. A man sitting goal with Cedilla, Todibo, Goose, and Gallo making up our back 4, with Neves, Anderson, and Gibbs White making up midfield, with Marlon, Trossard, and Watkins on the front line. On the bench, we have Kilman, Cresswell, Mateus Fernandes, Ollie Scholes, Kamara, Rigg, Durrami, and Nelson, with Memphis to play as well. We do have the likes of Harvey Barnes, Diouf, and Dama Traore just around the squad. So this is the first game to get us started, but hopefully we don't have another relegation battle. I think from what I looked at, we are predicted to be at about 15th. If I actually go on that. Go on Premier League and then stages. It's actually not let me click it. Come on. Anyway, just take it from my word, it's just not working at the moment. It's still in the beta at the moment. Anyway, first game against Arsenal. Here we go. Here we are, the first highlight. Arsenal in behind, and it looks like 1 minute in, Martin Odegaard puts Arsenal in front. Looks like, hopefully it's not going to be as long as the season. These first 2 games aren't really a test. These are just trying to get these out of the way. Here we are then, Saka. Gallo looks like he's giving away a penalty. Will go to VAR though. Gallo might be in trouble with the referee. Looks like he might just get off with a telling off. It is a free kick though, not a penalty. It's not the worst result. Saka does whip it into Rice, and Gabriel puts Arsenal 2-0 up. Maybe against big teams this formation isn't going to work, but definitely want to just get him around the pitch and just see what happens. To Martinelli, Gabriel to Saliba. Arsenal just didn't have any signings. I would have shown you the start 11, but it's literally the same as the Arsenal start 11 in real life. Martinelli down the left hand side, cuts it in for Odegaard, passes to Saka, and there is 3-0. 16 minutes in on opening day, and this is definitely not going to plan. Testing our defence this time again. Bukayo Saka takes on our defence. Ruben Neves gets a foot in about half an hour too late. Anyway, passes straight back to Saka. Might as well not have done it. To Martinelli, who hits that wide just don't know how he's not finished that. At least got that on target. Hermansen with a goal kick for West Ham. Can we at least get a goal back? Should be decent, or at least keep it at 3-0. Watkins tries his best to just head on, but playing long ball to Ollie Watkins probably isn't the best idea. Anyway, Saka up towards Martinelli again, just all the space in the world. To Rice up towards Odegaard, to Bukayo Saka. Brings a smart save from Hermansen, but it is a corner kick. The other second half, Arsenal have been the more clinical team, but honestly, chances have been pretty even. We haven't seen any highlights, so there can't be that good chances, but it's not like they're dominating. They've got possession and a 3-0 lead, but it's not really it. Donyell Malen does win it back, though. Can we at least get a consolation goal? Maybe not. New signings are linking up. Over to Memphis again. Cuts back to Kamara, the other substitute. Reece Nelson to Ruben Neves. Can we at least get a consolation goal? Takes on his man. It's going to have a shot. Kilman Sidilla. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that right. 3-1. We've got a goal back. Good finish into the bottom left corner. David Raya had absolutely no chance. Here we are then. Arsenal corner. Well, free kick. During Timber to take. Not exactly the person you'd want on the end of it. But Vicar Gyökeres is on the end of the cross. And he's exactly who you'd want on the end of it. Because it's Arsenal 4, West Ham 1. Seems a little bit harsh to be 4-1 down. We are then goal kick from David Raya. Seems like a very harsh scoreline, but I guess when you're playing teams that are fighting for the title, like Arsenal finished second in the league last season, just having that quality up front is just going to absolutely tear us apart. Odegaard's in as well. Gyökeres brings a save from Hansen. Another Arsenal corner. We have had more corners, but it seems to be all just Arsenal highlights. Odegaard to take this one as we have a little bit of a lag. Brings a save from Hermansen, and Arsenal get another corner. Fiore on the left-hand side. It seems like we had a really bad 20 minutes, and then we have been decent since. Arsenal just bringing through us on will, though. Ethan Wanyeri, a substitute for Arsenal, brings into Gyökeres, who puts in the net. 150th goal in his league career, and this game is well out of sight. Durami up to Saliba just shoots it up to the field. Goose to Gallo. Up to Goose again. Looks like we have a couple of defensive problems, but at least it is against Arsenal, so it's hard to really tell. Reece Nelson cross to Durami, and we do get another goal back. Arsenal 5, West Ham 2. It's going to be consolation goals, but I'm glad we're actually scoring goals this season. It's a good little start. There we are then, full-time whistle, full-time score, Arsenal 5, West Ham 2. Looks like Arsenal just had the better players. 2.58 XG with less shots and just one more on target than us. Seems like Arsenal just had the better quality players up front and we just couldn't deal with it. Anyway, second game of the episode against Manchester United. Hopefully that one's a little bit more even. Here we are then, we have signed a backup goalkeeper just because of that Aaron Ramsdale injury. Stefan Ortega on loan for Manchester City and he'll pay him 50% of his wages. Just a backup keeper just to cover for the injury. Here we are then against Manchester United in this second game of the episode. Reece Nelson that replaces Marlon on the right hand side. Ortega replaces Kilman on the bench. Here's just return from injury. But Ortega on the bench. We don't want Hermansen getting injured and then having to play an outfielder in goal. Hopefully a better result in this one. 5-2 against Arsenal, so if we're even just competitive in this one, it should be pretty good. We didn't really deserve the result that happened in the last game, but hopefully we can get a better one in this one. For Manchester United. He's a pretty good dribbler, so that's something to be wary of. Another good dribbler, Ahmad, taking on our fullback, cuts inside up to Bruno Fernandes, cuts it back, and Wood to Goose just puts in his own net. One of these crosses that are pretty hard to deal with. Jadon Sancho and Andre Onana in the Manchester United lineup. 10 minutes in, unfortunately a bad start in this one as well. Manchester United 1, West Ham 0. Also on this right hand side, was man of the match in his cameo against Arsenal. Cross all forward to Ollie Watkins, hits the post. How? Open goal. Kind of need a little bit better finishing from him. A little bit unlucky, but you expect someone of his quality to put that in the back of the net. Defensively into that to Debo. Over to Goose. Can we get an attack going? Gibbs White to Ollie Watkins. Back to Gibbs White, another good dribbler. Over to Gallo on this left hand side. Can he square a ball to someone? Or have a shot, hits the post again. Elliot Anderson to Ruben Neves, who shoots wide. We're not that good at keeping our clean sheets just after start, so hopefully we don't concede straight away from here. Sedilla does win it back, so Gibbs White will launch the counter attack. Not sure Elliot Anderson has the pace. He does. We'll take a shot maybe. Luke Shaw does pretty well to get back, and it is a corner for us. Maybe if that was someone else, might have been 1-1. Up to Watkins. Watkins hits the post again. Nelson off Luke Shaw, off the post, out again. How have we not scored? Up to Trossard again. Can't quite get there. Gallo with the ball on this left-hand side. 64 minutes in now. We're still 1-0 to Manchester United. Hitting the post twice in this game. Been pretty unlucky. Gallo is in behind Mazraoui. Puts the ball in. Reece Nelson taps it in from about 2 yards out. It is West Ham 1, Manchester United 1. We have hit the post a couple of times. Kind of deserve this. So hopefully we can get at least hold on to this. 2.21 XG to their 0.34. Definitely been the better team in this game, even if Manchester United have had the possession. It's on Rasmus Højlund as well. Amad Diallo wins it back though. Are putting a little bit of pressure onto Manchester United. They do shoot forward. Gibbs White to Durami on the left hand side. Gibbs White to put it into Donyell Marlin. Decent save from Onana. Not something you would have said. Honestly, we deserve all 3 points in this one. We've created so many chances, and ever since Manchester United's goal, they just haven't created anything. Here we are then into added time. We have deserved the 3 points from this one, but I think losing that would be pretty harsh. Tomiyasu does go past Sedilla up to Hermansen, and that is a pretty tame shot. And there is full time. West Ham 1, Manchester United at 1. We're a bit unlucky hitting the post twice in this one, creating a 3xG to Manchester United's 0.54. But to be honest, when Onana gets the highest rated in the game, you can't really moan. Anyway, that is the end of this result. Not a bad result against Manchester United, even though it is Manchester United. We might have a lot of harder games this season, and games we probably aren't going to win. So a decent point against Manchester United isn't the worst result in the world. Anyway, that is the end of the first episode of Season 2, and the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.